Well, the liberal activist group Acorn organizes voting drives across this country. But some say its election activities are not above board. The Consumer Rights League slams Acorn for voter registration fraud and other election abuses. So why would Democrats include money for this group in the bailout bill? Joining us now is James Terry, Chief Public Advocate for the Consumer Rights League. Hi, James.
Hi, Megan. Good to be with you.
All right, it's good to have you. Well, believe it or not, this is still in the bill. That's the latest that we've gotten from our sources on Capitol Hill, which include the lawmakers themselves. The Democrats have included a provision that says not less than 20% of any profit realized from these investments, part of that would go to this group, Acorn. And the House Republicans tell us they are fighting to get this thing removed. It hasn't been yet. James, why is it a problem?
Well, I think it's a problem because when you look at Acorn's structure, they're a massive organization. There are 150 subsidiary organizations with already this year a $110 million budget, and their voter registration activities have spawned investigations in over almost a dozen states. And we're talking about millions of registrations, thousands and tens of thousands of fraudulent registrations, and which is not to even mention that the fact that of that $110 million, a significant portion of this operation is being funded by the taxpayers already. And to put this organization, to earmark money for this organization ahead of the taxpayers is just outrageous.
Why is it described as a liberal activist group? Is it connected officially to the Democrats?
Well, I don't think, they live in a very nuanced world, but I don't think in any official on-paper connection, but I think, you're judged by your actions, and you look at the history of this organization, the relationship with the Democrat Party, the relationship with a lot of the Democrat causes and members of Congress, and I think even if you look at their voter registration drives, I think if you did an analysis of the registrations that they collect, you would see they're overwhelmingly Democrat registrations. Let
me ask you this. They were originally created, I guess, to help lower-income folks get mortgages for zero down and so on. Is that correct? Is that primarily what they do in addition to getting voter registration done?
That is part of it. Acorn Housing Corporation takes a dramatic amount of money from the federal government to help people, ostensibly help poor people get into houses. But one of the things we've seen out of the Acorn Housing Corporation is the very same loan products that they attack and call, what they call predatory, are the very same loan products that they have gone into partnerships with various banks, and we're actually pushing these products on the lower income Americans.
So these bad mortgages are what caused this problem that we're dealing with on Capitol Hill, and now as part of the bailout bill, to solve that problem, lawmakers are considering giving money back to the group that got those problematic mortgages to begin with. Do I have it right?
Absolutely, and I think that these are the kind of things that only can happen in Washington, D.C., because, not only you talk about the modern day practice of this organization, but the roots of this go all the way back to the Community Reinvestment Act and redlining, and, when banks were forced to ignore risk ratios and give loans that they would never have considered. And now, to be sure that once the banks figured out how they could make a ton of money on this, everybody went wild with it. But you can see clearly that even throughout all of this, you have where institutions were incentivized to continue to offer more and more and more of these risky loans because they were getting credit from the government throughout all these various regulatory schemes that were in place.
And James, in Acorn's defense, we haven't spoken with them. We haven't gotten a statement from them. We've attempted, but we failed this morning. So we don't have that half of the story. But I assume they deny these charges that you're leveling.
Well, I mean, what they do very often, they will, it's a big shell game. Like I say, they have 150 different subsidiary organizations, and they juggle blame just like they juggle financing. They juggle blame between organizations, and, and particularly on voter fraud, what they'll very often do is they will lay it off to, low-level rogue employees. But the fact of the matter is this is not the first time they've done this. This has been 10 years, 5 election cycles, and that's not a accident. That's a pattern.
Got to go, James. Thanks so much for your insights on it. And viewers, we're going to have much more on Acorn and whether that winds up in this bailout bill tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern, Bill.
Yeah, John Funn told us yesterday on the show from the Wall Street Journal that Acorn is still a part of the current bill.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
And that Republicans haven't even kicked to the side just yet.
No, but they're trying. They're trying, and we just got that from lawmakers. Will they do it? Tonight at 5, we've got answers. Be here with us.
We're not done yet. See you then. Jane and John are next.